Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Berenice, and here I am wearing legality does not equal morality. I created this apparel for rebels, for thinkers, for healers, for people that actually want to create change within the community. Something that you can wear that'll spark conversation. Now, from the launch of this apparel, which the pre-sale has extended, by the way, because of the demand, thank you so much. I brought women here in Los Angeles that are being of service of their community in their very own way. Today, we meet Alejandra. Alejandra is a daughter of immigrant parents. Growing up asking questions and listening to her family's stories radicalized her. It had shaped her to want to spread love and joy any way that she can. You'll often see Alejandra here in Los Angeles volunteering, sharing our community's businesses and work, and forcing people to have tough conversations. In her interview, Alejandra says that she often heard "Calladita te miras más bonita." But her refusal is how she resists. Now, as a reminder, the link to the apparel is down in the description box. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you mi amiga Alejandra. And I hope that her interview inspires you to become agents of change and use your gifts in your very own way. Don't forget you're a beacon of light, and we need you. So let her story ignite you.
Hi everyone, my name is Alejandra. I am born and raised in East LA.
Tell us about your business, your activism, or the work that you're building.
I actually work with kids and I do have a side hustle of face painting. I started that because I love working with children. I love to bring some type of happiness in our community, all kinds of events. I also like to support a lot of local small businesses because I am very intentional where my money goes to. There's a lot of amazing local businesses in our communities that need our support more than ever.
Tell me a little bit about what you're hearing with the community. Can they afford their rent?
No, a lot of my friends and family members as well are struggling with rent just because also they are getting, they're not working as much hours. They still live in that fear. They live in that fear of you never know what if ICE is literally in the corner of our house. One thing I tell my parents is like, if you need me to do anything, I'd rather go for you. Like, doesn't matter if it's late at night, if you need me to pick up groceries, if you need me to do a favor, because I feel more comfortable showing up for my family. And even on top of that, there's also friends, parents that also need support. And I tell them, like, if you need me to go somewhere for you, if you need a ride somewhere, I'd rather do that. I don't mind losing sleep than knowing the fact that I could have done something, and also using my voice to speak up, because growing up in a Latino household, they always tell you like, calladita te ves más bonita. And I never believed in that. No matter how annoying they'll be like, you're so loud, this and that. I'm like, I'm loud for a reason. I'm gonna use that voice.
Amen. Can you talk to me a little bit about, that narrative of "Calladita te mira más bonita"? I would ask you what it was like to mean being a daughter of an immigrant parent 5 years ago to versus what it means now.
And the jobs that I've had before, and then now I would speak Spanish 5 years ago. Like, people look at you kind of like, why are you speaking Spanish? I had a situation where I worked, actually my first job, which was superior as a cashier. My first day, I said buenos dias in Spanish, and then I didn't respond. I said good morning. The lady looked at me. She's like, you do know we're in America, right? So you speak in English. Oh my God. Like, that was so hard because I said, well, I didn't get no response, but I had to remind myself it's my first day. I don't want to lose my job, but that I never really experienced that. Con más razón, I would speak in Spanish, and it doesn't matter if you like it or not.
Where was it? Was it here? Where were you located at the?
At that time when I was working at Superior, it was in Montebello.
Do you find that happen often here? Or was that the only time it's happened?
No, I feel like it happens all the time, especially when I hang out with friends who are a little bit more, brown skin than me. I've experienced also racism in Big Bear, where we went to go have dinner, and they didn't even greet us because the people that I was with, they were darker complexion. So it was so uncomfortable. I talked my shit and we just left. And you know what we did? We just ordered pizza and sat down by the lake. Racism, a lot of people think it doesn't exist, but it really does. A lot of people are ignorant about it. And then a lot of people are also neutral because they don't want to face it, what we're actually dealing with.
Can you talk to me a little bit how your parents shaped like your mindset and who you are?
Yes, definitely. I feel like growing up, my dad was a provider and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Coming to this country, she did not know not one word of English. They would tell her like, you should learn, but she didn't want to learn. I think back then when it was, they were using Inglés sin barreras. And you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So Spanish was my first language. And also when I went to school, I would talk to everyone in Spanish. My teacher's like, Ale, you need to learn English because it's going to help you for your future. And I'm like, I don't need to learn English. I don't need this. If they don't understand it, oh, well, like, you know, very outspoken. This is in kinder. And I remember staying after school and I had a really great teacher and she taught me. But my mom always has told me, you have to learn Spanish. You want to have a conversation with us, with your family, you should be able to speak it. And I am so grateful to my parents for that because the majority of the times, like I love also talking to my elders and I always translate. And also growing up when they send mail in English, I was always the the daughter, like, puedes ayudar en esto? And I felt good about it because I get to help my parents in situations where, a lot of our parents get taken advantage of because they don't know the language.
Yes.
Forever grateful for that because it's teaching me things. And since I also work with kids, I talk to them a lot in Spanish as well. Even with my nieces, a lot of they don't know certain words, but I teach them and my mom does too.
That's so beautiful.
Yes.
Amiga, how does it feel growing up in Los Angeles, knowing both languages, to see what ICE is doing right now in our hometown?
Man, for me, it has been really devastated, very heartbroken. I feel drained. I feel heavy. I feel like, what more can I do? Seeing, our vendors out there hustling and trying to make ends meet, and a lot of them don't come out, and the streets are lonely. People are living in fear, like they honestly don't know who to trust because you never know who's in the corner. And I feel like I also done my part and I'm still doing my part of also educating my neighbors, my friends, my family, because there's also a lot of friends too and acquaintances that are very neutral about the situation. And I'm like, you guys, just because it's not affecting you, that doesn't mean it's not going to affect our neighborhood or where we're going or where we're coming from. And it's really sad to see how blind people are just because it's not affecting them. But I'm that friend that'll be like, this is happening. Like, know where you spend your money, know to educate your friends. And everything we do, believe it or not, is political.
Has that changed some of the relationships and closeness
Oh,
that you have
yeah,
with people?
definitely. I stopped talking to a lot of people because that to me made me realize that if they don't care about them, they don't care about my family, they don't care about my loved ones. So why should I be interacting with people who don't care? To me, humanity and helping each other out and using our voices, everything. And if you're being silent, I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut you off. I'm really hoping that they put their ego, their pride aside, that they actually put on a listening ear, because most of the time when I do have these conversations, they'll be like, it's not that serious. Like, I just changed the topic. I'll be like, no, it is serious, because at the end of the day, like, whether you believe it or not, it's affecting everything. Everything. A lot of people are just so also worried about things that no tienen importancia. Like, for example, like celebrity stuff, this and that. That's another thing too. I feel like they rather support people they don't even know who they are, but they can't support their friends' hustle. Even if you're not out there protesting or lending someone a hand, do your part in social media and share resources.
Yes.
There's a lot of people too that they're starting to see that it really is affecting your neighborhood and where you go, but they're taking very baby steps.
The shirt that you're wearing, right? Legality does not equal morality. What does that mean to you, right? Because the argument is, well, they're illegal. Does legality always equal it being moral?
We're natives. This country is built on our people. The simple jobs. Our people are proud to do the work they do for us. I always remind people the food on our table, like, our people do really hard job, but just because they're doing that job, that doesn't mean they're less. That doesn't mean they're less. As someone who has parents who also grew up in El Campo, a lot of people think that if you don't have this paper, that you don't belong here.
Which is a piece of paper.
Which is a piece of paper.
A piece of paper. Let's say ICE walks into your community. What are some tips that you can give someone else that doesn't know what to do?
I will pass out the red cards, the ones that, talk about your rights. Definitely go around honking in my neighborhood. There's a lot of places that we're given free whistles to notify your neighbors and your community. And also on social media, say, for example, if I'm not present where, ICE is located at, it's also make sure you're sharing the right location, the right time, because I feel like also there's a lot of people when they do post that ICE is in our neighborhoods. They just post a picture and no like backstory, and also sharing it with the resource, like for example, Union del Barrio, and just being very like vocal about it too, because yes, it can be very scary. I myself, I'm like, okay, I haven't like experienced like face to face, but I know I'll probably will freeze, but I would want to take action, because then I will feel guilty of not being able to speak up, but I will speak up.
What kind of future are you fighting
For our children's future. Community building, also taking care of your nervous system. In a world where we're not afraid also to show compassion and love to others, because I also feel like love, when you talk about love, people are scared to tell you I love you, but I'm not. Like growing up, my parents, my dad, like he wasn't very like affectionate, but I know he showed me like love in other ways. It's also my duty as a human being to help out where I can, give love where I can, whether it's helping someone cook a meal, helping someone clean, the simplicity of things, of being a human being. I'm such a believer too. Me and my best friend always talk about las pláticas sanas, and they really do, because also the people that you meet and who you're surrounded, they have a lot of wisdom. They want to share the wisdom, but are you ready to face the truth? Are you ready to like put your ego and pride aside? Are you ready to be like, you know what, you're right, like I didn't know that, but you're teaching me. And I think it's so important to pause, because also we live in a society where on the go, 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 go. But listen, get involved in your community, get to know your neighbors, because that's the only way. I understand we want to be isolated at times, but you need community. It might not be easy, but start up by showing up a Saturday, start up by like volunteering. That's how I be doing it. Like I be going to different places, supporting local and see where I can help. And believe it or not, I feel good helping people. Like I don't think materialistic things could replace that feeling ever. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care, but like I know.
Thank you, amiga, so much. Thank you for, being a light to this world, and for, discussing love is something that I often talk about. I too say I love you, and then people get so surprised. And I didn't realize that not every family shares how much, they love. And I think in moments like this, it's so vital to learn how to say, I love you, I care about you, I'm here for you. And you are such a glorious example of what it means like to be in community in your own way. I see you being active in almost every sector, and what a beautiful tribute to what resistance looks like. A lot of people think resistance is always in protest, but joy is also resistance. Community is also resistance. Affection is also resistance. And I think that's something more that I do want to highlight, because on social media, all we're seeing is the gruesome attacks on our community, but we're not showing our love. We're not showing our kindness. We're not showing our family anymore. So thank you for being a leader. Thank you for enlightening us. Thank you for being with us. And thank you for choosing to always stand with community and to stand with yourself.
Oh, thank you. Well, I love you.
I love you.
I appreciate that. And I also feel the same way about you. You are such a beautiful light, and your presence is everything. You just shine everywhere you go. And it makes me also happy to see when you dance. Like I guess so. I'm like, can you post more dancing?
I need to dance more. Yeah, dance is also resistance. Our music is also resistance.
I always tell that to people. They'll be like, "Oh my God, Ale, like you love dancing." Or even when I go out, I start the dance floor. I'm not waiting for no one. I'm sorry.
We are the PPP. Pizza Party.
Movement is medicine. Move your hips. Especially, we tend to have a lot of trauma in our hips. So,
if you had a message for that young girl that they told that calladita te miras más bonita, what would you tell her now?
I'm like, wait, could I cuss? I'm just kidding.
Yes, you can.
A mí me vale madre lo que piensas. Yo voy a seguir usando mi voz. And another thing too, I love to laugh. Like I feel like my laugh has a big echo. And again, to take up space and not being afraid of who's around. And if they feel uncomfortable, well, that's some inner work they have to work on.
I like to say, if you think I'm too much, find less.
And that's
Thank you so much.
Thank you.